Okay, now in today's class, we will try to understand HTML forms. Okay, in the previous classes, we have tried to understand how to create the web page with different features, header section, paragraph, and then how to load the image, how to keep your video, insert your video, how to insert the photo, hyperlink tag, okay, and image tag with source attribute so that we can insert the photo. So many that is what elements we have studied in the previous classes. In today's class, we will try to understand HTML forms. So, so HTML form is used to collect user input. So form will be used. I hope that many have seen on the internet forms. Whenever you submit an application, you will see a form. So you feed like this, your name, last name, like that. Okay. So whenever you submit your data and whenever you click on the submit button, the data will be sent to server. Okay. So that data will be stored in the server. Okay. So forms, HTML forms are used to collect user input. So this is one field. Okay. Label is first name. So text box here you will feed your name, last name, that is the label for this text box. Okay, is a text box so that you can feed your data, your last name is the submit button. Okay, so whenever you submit, click on the submit, the data will be submitted. So suppose see like this. So submitted form data. Okay, your input was received as, so f name is equal to John and l name, last name is equal to Doe. So you will see like this. Okay, your form is submitted. So let us see the code. Code is what? Code looks like this. The first is what? As I told you that the first form. The code is what? I told you many times. We need to start with the doc type HTML. I told you with the exclamation mark. Okay, doc type. I told you that this is the declaration of HTML document. HTML indicates that HTML5, HTML tag in start tag, otherwise root element. If HTML start tag started, so it is to be ended with the end of the total code. So the form that this code to be closed with end tag, HTML end tag. So then body element. So finally body element to be closed here like this. Okay, with the forward slash. In between, I told you that body and body start tag, body close tag, whatever we write the code, the total code from here, header to up to this, that will be displayed on your web page. So we are studying how to create the form in web page. So this is the code and this is the result. Okay, this is the code. Whatever we are seeing in body section under body start tag, this is what your header element, header start tag. I told you that element, it will consist of start tag, text means content. The content must be written in between of your start tag and end tag. So this is the text HTML form, so that we can see this is the header HTML form. So we are looking like this. And then next, this is the form element. So form element started with form start tag. Now form to be closed with end tag. Form started with start tag. Form to be closed with end tag. Okay. In between form start tag and end tag, we need to write the code for the form. Okay, the header, that will be part of your header section, header element. Okay, so if you change here header form, header HTML forms, you whatever you keep here, okay, you keep here Shyama Sundar, Shyam Sundar. Okay, so Shyam Sundar will be displayed here. If you write HTML forms, you will be able to see, okay, Shyama Sundar biodata. Okay, so Shyama Sundar biodata, you will be able to see here Shyama Sundar biodata. Is the Shyama Sundar biodata. So for this form to be started with start tag, next action. Action is an attribute. The action attribute must be assigned with this value. Okay, I will explain. This is the PHP. Okay, PHP is a language, hypertext processor language that will be used. It is equal to ASP, Active Server Pages, designed by Microsoft. So PHP will be used to run the code server side. Okay, PHP. Next, action is an attribute. This is the value. Now your form. This is the form tag. Okay, form start tag with action attribute value. Next, label. Label label is a tag. Start tag element. Total, it is called an element. Total is called. Form is an element. I told you that form is an element. In HTML, I told you that everything is an element. Okay, form is an element, label is an element, input is an element. So label is an element for the attribute. So here this is the value f name. Okay, this is the first name, first name. So whatever we write here, that will be displayed here, first name. Otherwise you write applicant's name, applicant's first name. Okay, so that will be displayed there inside of the form. Next, label close. Label closed with end tag. This is for break. This is for break, line break. Okay, next. Now, input element. Input element will be used to collect the input from the user. So type text. Okay. So this label for text. Okay. ID f name, name is equal to f name, name is an attribute, ID is an attribute, f name is a value, here f name is value. Whenever is equal to is there, try to understand that value will be assigned to an attribute. Here value John, because here whatever value you feed here in your form, that will be displayed here. Okay, if you change the value here, here Vasu. So now what happened? Value will be changed here. So we need to change the value here. Okay. So now run here. What happened? So see, I have written Vasu here. In first name Vasu is looking here. So whatever the last name. So label for last name is the last name. So you can write here as your choice. Applicants, applicants last name. Okay. So if you write any value here, Vasu area. So whenever you run this, so why? Because it is looking somewhat red. Okay. See here, everything looks now actually what is the problem? So what happened here? Try to understand. This is your first label, but second label for last name we are not able to see here. So we need to correct the code. Correct is what? Label for L name. So what happened here? Try to understand that L name. So it is started with the quotes. So it is to be ended with the quotes. That is the mistake. Okay, understood that. Now see, next it is to be labeled to be this element. It is an element. So we need to keep this. And after that, this is what text. This is what content. Now run, you will get the, so you are you able to see the second label, applicants last name, but spelling mistake. So you change this as applicant's last name, PP. Now run this. So you are able to see applicant last name. So last name, we need, first of all, we need to create the label with the label element. Okay, then we need to use input element to take the, collect the user input from the, to collect the input from the user. So one label to be created, then input element to be used to collect the input from the user. Next, second label. Second label means what is the label? Applicant's last name, and then input. Next, to get submit. Okay, submit button. To get a submit button, this is the submit button. So input. So if you want to, you want to get submit button here, otherwise radio button, list box, check box, all the elements, they will be part of your input. Okay, type is what, which type of, so whether you want to get submit but submit button, otherwise radio button, list box, check box. Okay, value submit. This is the syntax. Huh? After that, under the paragraph, so this is the paragraph. Okay, if you click the submit button, whenever we click on this submit button, the form data will be sent to a server. So server under this page, that page mentioned as, okay, under quotes, double quotation marks, forward slash action underscore page dot php, this page name. Okay, so whenever we click on this button, so your code will be sent to server with a stored in server, stored with the name of this page as a php code. Okay, php is a language. So if I have the time, I will teach that. First of all, I need to complete that all html, css, javascript. So initially I started to teach backend side programming, python, java. Okay, I started to teach sql little bit. I have started, so that I want to give all. Now recently I started html, css, javascript, so that you will get idea what is front end, what is back end. Okay, what is RDBMS, relational database management system? SQL will be used for which purpose? Okay, so that okay. Now come to the next topic. This is the okay, how to create a form. Now the form is looking like this. Behind of this, if you want to see the code, just whenever you click on that, your form will be, it appears in front of you like this. Okay, if you want to one more, if you want to keep one more here, so here you need to form label. You need to write like this. As I told you that this is what